Hey, what's up everyone? Basil, the White Dragon Masters here. Once again, White Dragons review here at the Grove in Hollywood, California. Pacific Theaters. I have a review for a I had a very hard time even putting this in a category. I don't know if it's horror or just thriller. I think it's more a psychological horror thriller than anything else. And the movie review I have today for it is the movie It. Now, it goes back to about 20 years, 25 years in the traditions of horror movies and clown horror movies. It came out, it's a movie that's based off of a horror novel by Stephen King. Now, I mean, it has come a long way from the 80s to now. I'm talking about a night and day difference. The one that I saw when I was a kid I didn't really like it. I didn't even like the ending of it. It was a very long, all I remember about that movie was it was a very long, 4-hour long, drawn, stretch out movie, and the ending was so terrible that honestly I didn't even want to talk about it growing up as one of my favorite horror movies. But this one is different. This one, I don't know what category I should put it in because it is so confusing. It almost feels like you start this movie somewhere from the middle. It doesn't even feel like it has an origin. It doesn't even feel like it has a beginning. And it was a very long movie too, but it wasn't 4 hours long like it was back in the 80s. This was about 2.5 hours. I think that, personally, they could have really cut it down. The problem with, I think filmmakers nowadays should be intelligent enough and smart enough to know that the stuff that worked back then may not work now. So I definitely feel like the duration of this movie was a little too long. So I would say 2.5. I think this movie was about 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2.5 hours. They could have easily cut 30 to 40 minutes away. Easy. And this movie would have still been interesting. How do I rate this? So let me give you a rating, guys. Rotten Tomatoes and all these people give it an 88% or a 90%. I would say I would give it a 7 out of 10. For me personally, it was okay. It wasn't great. It was just okay. It was not boring, but at the same time, it wasn't extraordinarily scary. It wasn't something that, really made me feel like, oh wow, I saw, a great change. One thing I did love about it though is that they really changed the ending. The ending was a lot better than the ones that we saw in the 80s. So personally, guys, you want to watch it. If you have watched this movie when you were a kid, or if you read the novel of Stephen King, then you may enjoy this. But personally, I think it was just okay. Is it something that I should watch in a theater and spend 2.5 hours watching it? I don't think so. This is something that you could spend watching. I mean, you could watch it on DVD. It doesn't have to be in theater. But because it's such a cult classic movie of the 80s, you may have a good time watching it. Just keep in mind that it's a very bizarre movie. If there's any way I can describe this movie, it would be bizarre and weird. So that's all, guys. That's what I'm going to leave it at. 7 out of 10. It. Watch it. Basil the White Dragon Masters out. Let's get it on.